Thank you. And we'd like to ask Jim to do a little wrap-up, and we'll talk about tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So thank you to everyone that participated, particularly to the last panel as well, and we appreciate your being here. And Dave, we know you, Dave Bolin drew kind of the short straw today. We wish Tim could have been here. Tim commented at a meeting not too long ago, Tim Quinn, who is the president of Aqua, that he feels like when some people see him, he's a wallet with a head on top of it. So that image has been seared in my mind, so I'm glad he wasn't here today, but we do appreciate the participation here today. Well, it could have been fun, yeah. Let me just say, our board will be taking the issues that were discussed today up tomorrow, kind of figure out what a future path for the Sierra Nevada Conservancy might be. So that'll be a discussion that occurs over at the Food and Ag Building. Anybody would like some more of the discussion to continue tomorrow? We start at 9 o'clock. A couple of observations as someone who's been in a lot of these discussions. First, I guess I would disagree with my friend Mark Rentz. I hope this is not the first of many discussions. We've had many discussions. We need to get beyond getting in a room like this and ending up in mostly violent agreement and doing random acts of restoration to a place where we can actually start doing the work on the landscape that needs to happen. So we're really, I think, continually trying to figure out how do we spur that activity and that action. It wasn't quite as brave as it appeared, because right after Randy said pick the watershed, he tapped me on the shoulder and said, so that's your job. You go pick the one, pick the winner, and we'll go from there. But I guess I want to comment on that because, well, I appreciate Michael Jackson's comment. Yeah, you have to pick some places to see if we can break the mold. We've got to see if we can do business differently, and that's going to require us to pick some places where that effort is manageable. The alternative, it seems to me, is to continue to do far too little everywhere. And that's kind of the model we've got. So I think the Tahoe Central Sierra Forest Resilience Initiative that we talked about was further zooming in on a part of our region. And, that comes understanding that every part of our region is important. And within that, we're going to figure out where there are opportunities to test things within that landscape, to build off the work that you've heard from so many of the partners and such. But I think we heard it today, and I guess one of the messages, I heard a lot that we hear normally. I heard some different perspectives today, which is always great, and I think some opportunities to figure out how do we put words in Lester's mouth, but how do we catch the wave that may be out there? We've been thinking a lot about only in California do we have an existing drought emergency and flood emergency at the very same time, and the switch was flipped, and we'd been all kind of gathering around the drought misery tree, and now we got to move to the flood misery tree, and how do we leverage that into action? So I think really continuing some of these conversations, but I think we've really reached a point as an organization where we want to start getting things done at a different pace and scale on the ground. We want to learn from that. We want to create the new models. And we need everybody that was in the room today. We need Aqua. We need all of the partners who've been a part of this. So as we talk about this tomorrow, I think with our board, we'll summarize some of what happened today, but I think more importantly, we'll really try to figure out what did we hear today that can help guide us towards being a catalyst, because that's a role we see for ourselves. We're a small little organization, but we value the role that we can play and the partnerships that we have. And it was not insignificant that we had many of the state agencies and federal agencies up here this morning who really can make a difference. And I know I had conversations with all of them as they left about their interest in trying to be a part of the solution. So I want to thank everybody for participating. I want to particularly acknowledge all of our staff. We have many of the Conservancy staff here today. And these things always take a whole group of people, but I want to particularly call out, is that Angela Avery, who I think is, oh, there she is. She moved. Angie Avery, Brittany Kovich. Beside her is Belinda Gutierrez, and if you don't believe she's been busy, go to our Twitter feed because she's been blowing it up today, so good job there. Teresa Burgess, who played a key role in organizing a lot of logistics, and particularly Elizabeth Betancourt, who was a key player in getting many of the speakers here today, and so and helped us kind of frame some of the topics which may have been a little bit different for the Sierra Nevada Conservancy from that standpoint. So thanks to all of you for that great work. We appreciate it. And thanks for the folks that hung in there. I wish we had an award to give you, but we don't. So just feel good about yourself that you stayed to the end. So with that, Mr. Chair.